You know, it's tough being a patriot. It's tough being who you are, and it's tough knowing where to pay attention to and to whom. And let me explain to you what you must add to your latest informational arsenal, your quiver, as it were. This is the most important and critical thing to understand. Listen and don't form any opinion until I get done. Then let it seep into your brain and your soul, and then react. Now, already, the Trump administration, as you know, has activated National Guard, and it's deployed units and elements of the Marine Corps in various places in response to escalating chaos that's unfolding in Los Angeles. And you've seen the images. Stark, burned out buildings like a hellscape. You know, people throwing bottles and Molotov cocktails and horrible mobs, paralyzing major arteries of the city. People saying, when will something happen? Now, two things to note. Listen, this could be stopped. Remember what I'm saying. Everybody benefits from this. The Trump administration and the radical left. If this goes away, we don't have a problem anymore. This is not civil disobedience. This is not protest. This is insurgency in its embryonic stage, but it's also performative. It's necessary. Trump needs it. The left needs it. You don't want these problems to go away. Remember, I can't argue for the need for law enforcement if there's no problem. It's the Hegelian dialectic. I create sometimes a problem which will get you to freak out, and then you'll say, what can I do? You see? The left uses it as an example of Trump, his intransigence or his lunacy, and we use this as the need for more law and order. This is well-funded, well-timed, and unmistakably, absolutely coordinated. There are organizations and groups who have you heard of party planners? This is a riot planner. I know this may be new to some. Remember what I told you. Just listen to what I'm saying. Think about it later. And yet, despite all this, even amid this breakdown of basic order, simple order, questions are swirling about in the media and among legal scholars and online, whether President Trump has followed the proper protocol in labeling the unrest and insurrection. All right? Listen to me. Don't spend too much time comparing and contrasting it to January 6th. Let that go. That's a dead ender. We're ready to move on, and plus it confuses people. Keep your message very, very simple. Critics are going to point to the fact that Trump hasn't issued a formal declaration of insurrection. No, stop that. And they're going to question the chain of command. Now, that's interesting. The optics of military involvement. Who is this? Who are these people? What's Hexas doing? Don't worry about that. Think of the overall message, the overall feel of what's happening, and the political implications of responding. What you should notice is, why is this still going on? Okay? The reason why is Trump and his group, of which I am one and we are one, we theoretically, this isn't the way I would be doing it, but they figure we benefit from this. We benefit from the chaos. If they clean it up, we don't have a message. Kensington, outside of, or in Philly, Kensington, the neighborhood, was the, I don't know what you want to call it, the ground zero of drug-addled depravity. Nobody wants that gone. Nobody wants that gone. Believe me when I tell you this. Because if it goes away, you don't have a message there. You could have cleaned it up in a minute. It's a couple of blocks. You would think the left would say, clean this up. But no, they don't. Because whenever you have this, you benefit. The worst thing that any political movement has is stasis, static. Any kind of, you don't want stable societal order. You want destabilization. Everybody benefits. When things are quiet, there's no need for government. There's no need for change. If everybody's happy, you don't want America to get even more fat and more lazy. Now, let's return to first principles here. The first and most sacred duty of the nation's chief executive, any president, irregardless, as people say, a party, is not to manage public relations or to appease and placate law schools or score points, with whoever the columnists or the online people are. It's to defend the Constitution. And when you say that, it's one of the most boring things available. Nobody understands what that means. Your job is to uphold the rule of law. Because without order, there's no freedom. Without law, there can be no legitimate dissent. And without peace, our constitutional republic, not a democracy, collapses into performance, into mere performance, I should say. Now, here's the bottom line. If it ever clears up, that's it. President Trump does not want there to be calm. What I mean by that is, if everything was groovy, we don't need him. Every trial lawyer will tell you what happens when you have, for example, let's say you're doing criminal practice, criminal law, and you get your client acquitted. Sometimes they don't want to pay you because they say, well, I should have been charged in the first place. It's like, wait a minute. You see, when they're being charged, okay, that's when the money comes in. Once they drop the charges, they don't know you. Now, I know that's a terrible analogy, but you don't need the Republican Party. You don't need any kind of political action committee. You don't need Fox News, which, by the way, is public enemy number one. That's for another address. We'll talk about that later. But if state and local governments fail in their responsibility, theoretically, to maintain civil order, and in many of these big cities, they have clearly, not only have they failed to do it, they've actually incited this, then the federal government has to step in, not out of desire, but out of necessity. This has been squandered. No president worth his salt, worth his office, can sit by while American cities burn. I'm going to also tell you something. When I criticize the president, it's not because I don't love him. We don't love him. People are so parochial. It's about, but I love George. I love Ringo. He's not the Beatles. He works for us. We're talking about our view. Remember, as citizens, our view of what politics should be is completely different than somebody in Silicon Valley. Okay, you got that? I'm talking to you as a citizen. And I'm not one to shy away from criticizing the federal government, but this has been woefully, pathetically, awfully done. And I don't know why it is. I don't understand what the president is doing. I don't understand this. I don't get it. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, even Pam Bondi, and Kristi Noem, it's been the most wishy-washy. I'll tell you right exact now what it is. They still want to be influencers. Kristi Noem wants to be the hot Barbie kind of ice lady with the leg extensions, the hair extensions, and the that may seem trite, it may seem mean, but I'm absolutely correct. We have to get adults in there. We have to get adults in there. But remember something. They don't want there to be calm. They don't want there to be calm. And I want you to also understand something, one thing too, because this is critical. It's not just Trump, it's all of us. If Trump goes away, if you put in anybody, J.D. Vance, every person, every politician has their own problems, their own perspective. You have to learn to triangulate. Get a little bit of this information, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, put it together, kind of in a metadata pool into a cauldron, and then realize what is going on here. We have loads and loads of issues to be affected. But what I'm telling you right off the bat, more than anything, is that there is a reason why, how do I say this? There is a reason why sometimes it seems that everybody sits back and thrives on unrest. Let me say this again. If everybody is happy, if everybody is kind of okay with what's happening, there's no need for government, no need for the Republican Party, no need for, influencers, no need for me, no need for anybody. If everybody's groovy, all business stops. You don't need lobbying groups. You don't need, specific political action committees. You don't. So that's number one. Number two, there are forces so labyrinthine, if you will, so incredibly powerful at levels and layers you can't understand, who want to see President Trump destroyed, this country destroyed, by getting us into these ridiculous, unnecessary battles. And what they do is, when you say, wait a minute, why are we giving money to Tel Aviv or to Kyiv, they're going to say either you're a Russian apologist, you're a Putin apologist, or you're an anti-Semite. They're really good. Or you're racist, or you're an Islamophobe. Well, they don't say that anymore. You're a transphobe. They're so good at shutting you down. But ask yourself the question: who really has the president's ear? Who really is the enemy? And when I tell people this is the other rule. The answer is international globalist oligarchies. Forget it. You're wasting your time with this. Nobody understands that. The biggest threat, the biggest existential threat to everything right now, when I tell you this, is AI. Don't waste your time with them. They don't understand that because they don't understand what AI is. Always make sure that you simplify your argument to a third grade level. Repeat yourself over and over and give fanciful terms. Don't say oligarchies. Talk about communists, Marxists, the bad guys. Because then you get their attention. Remember, we win by changing people's hearts and minds. I don't care how we get there. I don't care what I have to say to wake America up. Because in the bottom line, I am the worst enemy of the Republicans and the Democrats. To the party system, I am an American, and everybody hates an American. Because by our very nature, we are independent, and we do not listen to this BS. We just don't. We understand exactly what's going on. We understand America first, and appropriately, America only. Remember, you have elected to engage yourself in this. I'm here to point out who's who. Don't get mad at me if I say, you see this person right here? Okay, this person is great in 80% of the time, except when it comes to the Middle East, or except when it comes to Russia, or except when it comes to AI. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to prove my point. The number one threat, the existential threat that we as an America and as a society fear and pose, the number one is AI. See how you reacted? Nothing. It doesn't grab you. It doesn't grab you. It's like a bumper sticker. Bumper sticker's got to grab you. Grab you. It absolutely, positively has to grab you. Americans in particular don't like to hear news that's the truth. We don't like to hear bad news about saturated fats because that means we got to change our diet. We like, give me this instead. For example, if I said, here's this thing called the patisserie diet. Eat all the croissant and all the cake you can imagine, and you'll live forever. It's all wrong, but people will buy my book because they like that information, even if it's wrong. People don't care. We always kid ourselves into, I want to tell me the truth. No, it's the last thing people want. Tell me what I want to hear. What I'll do is this. I'll tell you what you want to hear, but I'll give you the truth also. It's like if you have kids and you want them to eat vegetables, blend it. It's the oldest trick in the book. Give them a cupcake with kale or asparagus or whatever. Do that. They'll never know the difference. Change sugar to, tapioca powder. Right? They'll never know the difference. Give them the truth, but understand their limitations. Understand also that Americans don't want to fear. And also Americans in particular don't want to spend a lot of time doing this. Because this is complicated. Because the players change constantly. Okay? But remember something. Remember who the enemy is. It's not about bullets and bombs and drones. It's about information. It's about think 25 years ahead. That's what we do. 25 years ahead. Remember something. If you have kids and they're 5 years old, 10, I want you to think of them as a middle-aged 35-year-old who's going to go to the doctor one day and say, "Oh my God, your LDLs are what it takes 10, 20 years for lifestyles to catch up and to kick in. It's a very slow process. Same thing with this. These changes won't come tomorrow. Some of them are quick, some are immediate, but long term, it's 15, 25 years. I know that's disenchanting and dispiriting, but it's true. Follow me on Lionel Nation right here. Follow me. Give me your thoughts and comments. Remember something. I'm your friend. We're on the same team here. I'm not pro-Trump, anti-Trump. This isn't about Trump. This is about America. I know that sounds corny, but don't forget who our boss is. The motherland. Who is it? It's America. That's what we're talking about. Trump is not going to be. Trump's 79 years old today. God bless him. Keep going. Who's next? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. In some respects it matters. In some respects it won't. Last word. When Trump is done, you will be so amazed at how much he changed, and how you'll be also amazed at how little has changed. Think about that. Now do me a favor. Please subscribe to the channel here. Hit that like button. Like buttons are so critical. I know you hear that a lot, but it's really true. And comment as you see fit. I've got some questions for you. Go in the comment section and answer them. I read them all. All right? Now comment as you see fit.